JP Alexander here for the Rabbit Dogs Unleashed. It is Tuesday, February 15th, 2022. And I reviewed a film yesterday. The film is called Licorice Pizza. And I'm reviewing a film today because I saw this film actually before Licorice Pizza. And I was going to review it first. But then I saw Licorice Pizza and I felt, well, that's, I guess, a more popular movie. Let me review that first. This movie I'm going to review is streaming, so you don't have to go to movies to see it, unlike Licorice Pizza, which is not streaming. You have to go to movies to see it. This is called The Lost Daughter. And it's the directorial debut by Maggie Gyllenhaal, the actress. And yes, it's her first foray into directing. We know she's a great actress. And now she's getting into directing, which I applaud. And I also applaud that they're still making movies like this. It's not all superheroes and car chases and explosions and gunfights and people dying. And no, this is none of that. This film is about a middle-aged, 48 to be exact, she mentions her age, woman who, she's a British woman, and she lives in Cambridge, United States. She is a professor in college, and she's going to a Greek island, I guess, for the summer to do work while she's out on, summer leave. And she calls it a working holiday, whatever. So she goes there and she meets the caretaker of the house, Ed Harris, who we get to find out has been living in Greece for probably the last 30 years in America, living in Greece, taking care of people's houses. So he takes care of the house that she rents for the summer, I guess, okay. And I like this movie how it doesn't give you everything right up front. You have to figure things out. You have to, get information as it comes in, and which is good because I hate to be fed, spoon-fed my information. Like everybody has to narrate or something. This film would just let you figure it out as you go along, which I think is good. I again applaud that they're still making movies like this, at this point in time, and instead of always. And I think these movies are making kind of a comeback. I think because people are tired of the other, action CGI green screen films. They got films like this, which is just people talking, and it's a slice of life, and you can imagine being near these people and wondering, oh, what's their story, or just seeing them, and this is their story. And it's totally believable. And there's nothing in this film that rings untrue, let's say, that is ridiculous. So here I go into the review, okay? It's about, like I said, middle-aged woman played by Olivia Colman, who goes to, the beach in Greece, the Greek island, and she's on the beach every day. And she sees a couple on the beach. A woman played by Dakota Johnson, much different than any other role I've seen her in. She's an American wife, but her husband's Greek, and her sister-in-law is Greek, and her father-in-law is Greek, and the whole family's Greek. But they live in Queens, and I guess her and her husband and the sister-in-law and her daughter, her young daughter, are going to Greece. They spend the summers there, and they live in this big house, and they take over the beach, I guess, every summer. That's what I'm getting out of this. So she is there with her family, and the family kind of takes over the beach after the first day. This Olivia Colman character has the beach by herself, kind of, and now the beach is taken over by the Greeks, the family, and I don't know. They kind of try to paint them as bad people, which I don't really see how they are bad people. Maybe they're a little, like taking over the beach, but that's a horrible thing. I don't know. So it doesn't seem like they're that bad, but the movie wants us to think they're bad. So anyway, this Olivia Colman character, who is she named in the film? I actually forgot about it already, That goes to show you, that I don't remember. Okay, she plays Lita Caruso. Okay, And a husband, yeah, you get to see a husband early in flashbacks. Anyway, I'm going to go into that in a minute. So when she sees Dakota Johnson and her child, and Dakota Johnson being not so great mother, it reminds her of her when she was a not so great mother to her two daughters, and yeah, it brings back a lot of memories, which manifest into flashbacks that we get to see. Probably, she says the daughters are 25 and 23, and I guess the daughters in this 7 and 5. So I guess it was something like 18 years ago this happened. And the younger self of hers is played by a different character. It's played by Jesse Buckley. Okay. Olivia Colman plays the older Lita Caruso. Jesse Buckley plays the younger Lita Caruso. Not young, probably 30. And the kid's is 7 and 5, so she had a kid when she was 23. Okay. That's what my mother was when she had me and my brother, my twin brother. Dakota Johnson at Harris's Lie. Okay. And it goes down to the cast. Okay. So, yeah, it brings her back to her memories and it flashes back. Now, through these flashbacks, we start to get the feeling, I start to get the feeling at least, that Lita was not a good mother. Very selfish, self absorbed mother, and didn't seem to care much about her children. And maybe that's a little harsh, okay, but we're supposed to be feeling something for this woman, like some kind of sympathy. And I found it hard to find sympathy because I'm sure my mother had a much harder time being a mother than this woman did. And I don't remember my mother. I mean, I remember her, being angry sometimes, sure, but not taking things quite as far as this woman did. Okay, so in the flashbacks, we see that. And then there's a scene on the beach where the Dakota Johnson character, they lose the daughter, and the daughter's out, um, whatever, and then they, Olivia Colman says, "I'll help find her," and she finds her and brings her back, and everybody's so happy towards her, and everybody tries to treat her nice, which they weren't treating her bad before that. And okay, so then she starts to be nice with them, and they're nice to her, and then, but she takes the young girl's doll because it reminds her of the doll her daughter had. Okay, this is becoming into some uncomfortable territory because again, we're supposed to root for this woman, and I don't find stealing somebody's doll rooting for. You can't root for her because she's a thief. Why would she steal this young girl's doll? And then the young girl, and they keep saying to her, "Oh, the daughter's, she's really upset about the doll," and they start to put pictures of the doll up on trees everywhere, and they give a ransom for the doll. I mean, they probably go a little bit too extreme on trying to find this doll, but the daughter must love this doll, and she keeps it in the house for a long part of the movie. So, getting back to the flashback, she's married to an Italian guy. I think they're in Italy. I'm not 100% sure. And, they're, I guess, like a regular married couple. They show them having sex, and he loses his heart on during sex, which happens to the best of us sometimes. That, I guess, we're supposed to be watching that and think, oh, he's a bad husband because of that. I didn't get that impression, but there must be a reason why they're showing it, I'm thinking. And of course there is. Later on it's revealed, but she gets invited to something in the States, I guess, in the United States, where she has to go and attend a lecture, and this guy, the dean of the school, I don't know what really it's all about, but she goes there and she's there, and she meets Peter Skarsgård, who is actually Maggie Gyllenhaal's husband in real life. We know him from a lot of films. He plays a guy who's giving. You could just tell he's got this beard and he's got this way about him. He's very charismatic, and you could just tell when he goes up on stage and he starts talking at this seminar. You could just tell the character, the Jesse Buckley, is just in awe of him. You could just tell. And then I gotta say, she does. All the actors in this are good in their parts. Jesse Buckley is really good. Olivia Colman's really good. I don't really see them as the same person, I guess, but I guess you could believe she changes a lot. I mean, not that they don't look alike a little bit. Maybe she could turn into her, but they act extremely different, I thought. So, I don't know. I guess she could become her. I don't know. But I had a little bit of, instead of having Olivia Colman play younger, or have a younger actress try to play older, they just had two different actresses, 18 years apart, which okay, but I had a hard time connecting the two. I knew they were supposed to be the same person. I understand that, but I just couldn't connect the two. Like, oh, she's playing such a good younger version of her. Like Robert De Niro played a great younger version of Marlon Brando. You could believe that wholeheartedly in The Godfather and The Godfather Part Two. Here, I wasn't believing it quite as much, but that's neither here nor there. That's another complaint of mine from the film. But anyway, Jesse Buckley's infatuated with this guy. They end up having an affair. Obviously, you know what's going to go there. You could see it when she first lays eyes on him. That's where this is going. And it doesn't show you all the scenes. I guess in the book, this is based on a book. The book probably explained more than the movie does. It just has her, when she's home, she's with her daughters, and she's kind of saying goodbye because she's leaving the husband, I guess, to be with this new guy, the Peter Skarsgård character, you know. And okay, that's a little abrupt, you know, leaving your two daughters to be with the father and you going off to follow your dreams, I guess, okay? It didn't say she got a job or not, even though she's working in Cambridge when when the movie starts and before the pre-flashbacks or whatever. So I guess she got a job there, but in these scenes, she just leaves her husband and the children, and her husband says, "I'm going to bring the children to your mother's to help out," and then she gets mad. Well, if you're leaving the husband and the children, do you have really the right to say how he raises them, if he needs help or not? She's saying, no, I want you to take care of them alone. Meaning you probably have to not take so many business trips and you got to cut down on your job. And it's a little bit selfish of you to even suggest that since you're leaving me and the children. Again, I find it very hard to root for this woman at all. And I think she's kind of a very selfish human being. Okay, and so anyway, that is pretty much what we get from the backstory. And then after 3 years, she comes back, and her daughter asks her, "Oh, why'd you come back?" And she says, "Oh, because I miss you so much." Was it that or that? Because it doesn't show this Peter Skarsgård character in the present day. So I'm thinking maybe he left her for somebody younger, a younger student or something, or a younger new assistant or something, or he died or something, but it doesn't explain that in the film. Probably, maybe in the book it does, but not in the film. I have a way to think about this film. Like my saying about this film is, it goes nowhere, but man, does it sure take us time getting there. Like it's not in a rush to go anywhere, and when the movie's done, it hasn't gone anywhere. That's one of the problems I have with this film. It's close to 2 hours, and it feels much longer. And that basically means that it just dragged. And it took me 2 nights to watch this film all the way through because it was just so slow and meandering and not going anywhere. And you expect it brings up tense moments, like they're filmed to be tense, but then they're not tense. They're just fake. It's almost like a horror film where it's fake scares. Like, ooh, you really on the edge of the seat, and suddenly, oh, it's just the friend comes out and you have to grab your heart. This is kind of going for those cheap thrills, you know. In one scene, she hides the doll in the cabinet of the house, in the house somewhere, in the kitchen area. And the next scene, she goes in the cabinet and it's gone. And you're thinking, did Ed Harris character, who's the caretaker of the house, did he take it? And she's running, going to the cabinet. Then suddenly she goes to the cabinet next to it, which when she first put the doll in the cabinet, we didn't see there was multiple cabinets. We just saw the one cabinet. So you think when she's first starting to look, that's the cabinet, and it's not. And then she goes in the second cabinet, and it's not there. And you're thinking, oh my gosh, somebody took the doll. They might want some ransom money, not to tell the people or something. Then she goes in the third cabinet, and behind a cereal box, there's the doll. And then it's like, oh, okay, good. Oh, but that's manufactured. That's not real, on the edge of your seat, And that's like, okay, thanks for getting the suspense, which is totally fake suspense. Then another scene, she's at the, I guess, doll shop in town, and she buys a outfit for the doll. Okay. Then the Dakota Johnson and her sister-in-law, the Greek girl who was supposedly bad because she's part of the bad family, she sees her getting the doll, and she says, "Oh, I didn't know you had granddaughters." And she goes, "I don't." And then she's looking like suspicious. Why would she look suspicious? Why would she think? Why? Because you're supposed to think she thinks she has a doll. Why would she think she has a doll? She found the girl. You would never think, I would never think in a million years that this girl on the beach, this British professor on the beach stole the doll. She found the daughter but stole her doll. I would not think that in a million years. You would not, no normal person would think that, because no normal person would take the doll. Hence where I'm going with this. But you're supposed to get, some on the edge of your seat. Oh, she knows it. Even if she says anything more, which she wouldn't, which she didn't, because she probably shouldn't suspect anything. Then McCall can say, "No, I bought it from my friend has a doll, or I have a doll at home, and I remembered when you're talking about this doll so much, and I see pictures on trees of this doll. I remembered I got a doll at home, and it's been sitting in the closet for a while, and I figured I might want to take it out again and dress it up, so I bought this." That could make total sense. I wouldn't automatically suspect she took the doll, So you got that hanging over it, and just to make you think how bad, And I forgot an earlier scene. The first scene, we're introduced to the sister-in-law, the Greek girl who lives in Queens. She asks Olivia Colman to please move to another umbrella because we want our family all here, and she says, "No, I'm comfortable where it is." And then the father-in-law, the Greek guy, goes, "I don't understand why you just can't move to another." And she goes, "No, I'm okay here. Thank you." Which sounds sarcastic, because you wouldn't say thank you for somebody asking you to go get another umbrella. I thought that makes Olivia Colman's character look like a kind of a bitch, I mean, not that she has to do it. She doesn't have to do it. And she didn't do it. Fine. And then all the family's going to hang around her, and she's going to be in the middle of it. Fine. That's okay. I guess you could do that if you want. It's not cool, but you could do that, especially when somebody asks you nice and you don't do it. So the sister-in-law was kind of mad at her, and I think rightfully so. I'd be kind of upset at her too. And then, but at the end of the day, the sister-in-law's character apologizes, and they start talking, and they seem to get along. Even though Olivia Colman, her character, you could tell, doesn't trust her one bit, and she's supposed to be the bad, the bad girl or something. And who does that play? That was Dagmara Dominska. I guess there's 4 girls in this it was Olivia Colman, Jessie Buckley, Dakota Johnson, and this other girl, I guess, Dagmara Dominska, who's, where is she from in real life? She's Polish American. She's not Greek. Not even really close to Greek. As Castillo Cali. Whatever. So anyway, so we're supposed to be getting, and then later on, there's a pool boy, I guess a beach boy, who takes care of everything. He's American, and he's going to school in Dublin. Again, you find these things out as they come along, made available to you. and he's 24, and he goes out to dinner when the Olivia Colman character asks him to go to dinner with her. It's funny. She asked him to go to dinner, but Ed Harris has to kind of invite himself. Even though Ed Harris is probably 20 something years older than her, he's would seem more her type than this 24-year-old kid who's actually exactly half her age. And probably the Ed Harris character is 24 years older than her. So she's kind of in the middle of them two. But, you could see she's probably more attracted to the 24-year-old Beach Boy than she is with Ed Harris, who has way more in common with her than the 24-year-old Beach Boy. Anyway, she goes on to dinner with the 20-year-old Beach Boy, and then later on she finds out, and he says to her, the Greek family, they're bad, and she just says that they're bad people. Then you find out in a scene or two later that he's having sex with the Dakota Johnson character, the wife of one of the Greek guys. So I know people have been asking, are the Greeks mafia, Well, if this kid really thought the Greeks were mafia, would he be fucking one of their wives? Probably not, because that would be stupid. So I don't think he thinks they're, and when he says they're bad people, when you see him having an affair with the Greek guy's wife, you can kind of throw all his opinions away, because what he's doing is pretty fucking shitty too. And he's not a good person. So I would pretty much think he's not a good narrator to bring me through the story of how bad they are when you're fucking the guy's wife. And yeah, that's not cool. And so, if I was screwing some guy's wife, which I wouldn't be, I could see some guy screwing, let me just say, I could see some guy screwing some guy's wife and speaking bad about the guy. He treats her bad because she told me that. I'm only screwing her because her husband, he hits her. Or something like that. I wouldn't get involved. And if you think he's so dangerous, why are you screwing away? You just can't control it. Even though Dakota Johnson does look really smoking hot in this film, if I could throw that out there. But she looks like, in Coleman's character, a bad mother. When, her daughter's boiling on the beach, she just seems like she just wants to lie there and sunbathe. I know. That's great. That's fun. We like doing that. But that's not, that's really not what you're supposed to be doing when you're a mother. My mother had twins, me and my brother, when she was 23. And she was living in a 3-room apartment and not treated nearly as nice as the Dakota Johnson character. And she had it way harder. And she didn't, I don't think she treated us that bad when we were kids. I don't remember her acting that way on the beach or letting us just get lost like that. And as for the Olivia Colman character, when I was 7, my brother was 7, and our sister was 2. She didn't leave us with some other guy and leave us with our father. That's for damn sure. None of my parents left the other one for somebody and left the kids. That didn't happen. I was raised by 2 parents, being there every day. I don't want to throw my, I don't want to seem like I'm holier than thou here. My parents were so great, but for somebody I'm supposed to be rooting for, maybe the main character, and I can understand anti-heroes like Tony Soprano and Walter White and Don Draper taking 3 shows I love. I can totally follow their story, and they're not good individuals. But I don't think Olivia Colman was supposed to be painted as a bad individual. But Maggie Gyllenhaal, I don't think subconsciously, I don't think knowingly is painting her that way, because I think she's just saying, well, this woman isn't that bad. She just wants to be happy, and blah 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 blah. And sometimes being a mother is tough, and yeah, but there's a difference between motherhood being tough and leaving your kids when they're young with, And there's one scene where she's masturbating, and one of the kids interrupts her, and she gets mad at the kid. And I don't remember ever me and my brother and my sister interrupting my mother when she was diddling herself. I don't think that fucking ever happened. I don't remember walking in on my father when he's jerking off, or even walking my parents when they're having sex. Why not? Because I think they took care to make sure we didn't be subjected to that when we were a young age. I again, these things just shocked me. Maybe Maggie Gyllenhaal became an actress when she was younger, so has she? How many real jobs has she had? 9 to 5 jobs in the real world, and maybe she was so raised in Hollywood that she thinks that's the norm, and it's not. So these characters are not coming across as normal people; they're coming across as kind of self-absorbed, selfish individuals that I kind of find it hard to root for. And since I find it hard to root for them, I really found it hard to really engage in this film too much or really care what happens to any of them. And at the end, there's a question. It leaves a question whether, again, I hate films like that. Well, why do you even have to leave a question as to if what happened to the Olivia Colman character? And at the end, I'm like, I don't even give a fuck. If she was dead at the end, that would have been fine with me. I would have been like, okay. They could have ended it like that, but they have to leave it ambiguous. Like, you're left to decide. Guess what? I'm not deciding. I couldn't care less. And that's what I think about this film. But the good things about this film is I really look forward to more of what Maggie Gyllenhaal has to direct. This is a good start. It ain't by any means good. It's all right. It's acceptable. The good thing to say about it, best thing to say is nothing bad. Nothing is stupidness. Nothing makes me think that's ridiculous. Why they have to show that? That's stupid. Nothing was like that. So it all rang true, meaning there's no ridiculous jump the shark moment. That makes me that's ridiculous. It just makes me think that I'm watching somebody I can't root for, and I'm watching them for a long period of time, and I'm watching their story go absolutely nowhere. Uh, so that I could say, and I'm waiting for Maggie Gyllenhaal to come up with her own material instead of taking a book and adapting it for the screen, which she did here, which is okay. She wants to grind her teeth, sharpen her teeth on somebody else's material. That's okay. I think she picked the wrong book, or she maybe translated it not quite how it is. Maybe I'm gonna have to get the book and read that to kind of get what this film is supposed to be saying, or maybe flush out the characters more because this film didn't do it. And out of 1 to 10, I'll give it a 6.3. It's a D minus film. I'm again, like I said in the beginning, I'm glad they're making films like this again, and I hope they make a comeback. Just films where people are talking and getting along, and again, the acting is great. I have no problem with the acting. I don't know how it got Academy Award nomination. They just must be just dying for content. Just let me find anything that's good. I mean, what is it? Spider Man's up for Best Picture or something. I mean, really, ladies and gentlemen, really? Is this what? I guess there's so little was made this year. Isn't it funny that we have a year where you can make mediocrity? Mediocrity is being celebrated in Hollywood right now. As for I have not seen anything that I've been streaming wise on movies that I mean I gotta give the I saw the Kurt Warner story. I haven't have I talked about that? I'm not sure. I give that a higher score than any of these films, and no one's talking about that film. Maybe because it's a sports film, but I actually like that movie better than any of these films. And again, no one's mentioning that come Oscar time, or come Golden Globes, or the critics' choice awards, or what have you. And that's all I gotta say about that. 6.3 on a scale of 1 to 10. Acting was good, cinematography was good, location shots were good. I'm really looking to see more from Maggie Gyllenhaal in the future, but as a first run, this is a D minus score, and I hope it gets better. I hope it doesn't get worse. I hope her directing. I hope she sticks with it because it's. I probably couldn't do as good a job on the first time, so I'll hand it to her for that. But you're gonna have to shape up, or you'll be acting in a couple of years and not directing. But then again, they gave her an Academy Award nomination, so who am I to speak, right? But that's my opinion of the film. Goes nowhere, and it sure does take its sweet ass time getting there. And that's all I have to say about that at this point. And this has been JP Alexander for the Rubber Dogs Unleashed. Until next time, ciao.